everyone, welcome back to Scalify. Now, today we'll cover the Home tab. So, we have multiple groups inside the Home tab, name as the clipboard we have covered in the last video. We have the font section, alignment section, number section, styles, cells editing, add-ins. These three are additions. Okay, these are add-ons. These are not the part of some your something which is there. Okay. Now, if you are using Microsoft 365 version, you might have some different type of interface. So don't worry about it. You'll have the same options. One or two options will be some advanced features will be there, but everything is same. Now, if I cover the phone type, now before that, I want to tell you that how many type of data is there. Okay, so usually we go like if you are storing a data, so we have a text base, then we have the numbers, and there is one more thing. Okay, so notice one thing. I'm typing a normal string. Okay, so this is a text normal string. Then I'm typing a number, and then I'm typing something else. Okay, now see and notice it. This orange is a text and it is starting from the left hand side, right? This 11 is a number and it is starting from the right hand side. But this true is in middle, right? You can see that, you can notice I haven't made any changes into it. I didn't put some alignment or something. So this is by default. So understand that if something is a text, it will always start from the left hand side. If your data is a numerical data, okay, so is it a number? So it will always start by default from the right hand side. And this true is nothing but the condition based, situations based expressions. Okay, so these are the Boolean expression. We call them the Boolean expression. So they actually satisfy the condition. Either condition is true or false. Okay, now we'll start with the font section. Over here, this is your font type. So you can just click on this drop down and you can just make any changes. Now understand one thing. You'll notice whenever you have opened a new sheet, even a new file or new workbook, there are some default sets. Okay, let me just show you. Right now, what I'll do is I'm opening a new file and notice what is the font type here? That is Calibri and the font size is 11. If I again go to the file tab and again I will open a new blank workbook, you'll see one again that this Calibri is there, 11 is there. So this is nothing but the default setting. Okay. Now, let's say either I want to change it. I want to make some change into my document. I want to keep a specific font type and a font size for my specific type of document. What I will do. So we'll see that later. But before I understand that, so this is your section that is font type. You can click on drop down. You can change some other font. Okay, let's say I have selected this one. Now this option is to choose the font size. Now understand one thing. These two options are same. Okay, you can increase the font size, you can decrease the font size by these. So why this text box is over here? Because it is allowing you to give some input by your side. For example, if I want to check out on the, let's say 9, I can enter and I will have a size. But if you click on the drop down, 9 is there and some numbers are not there. For example, after 12, 13 is not there. After 14, 15 is not there. So is it kind of a difference of 2 or 4? But if you are trying to do some experiment and all, by mistaken, if you have typed 13, so it will not throw an error. Okay, it will just get adjust itself. Okay, now these are the formatting. So let's start by typing something. So let's say I have this Excel. Now you have asked me to make some formatting on it. So formatting is nothing but to give it some color, give it some advanced formatting, give it some border like this. Okay. So my main concern is to make it bold. Now one more secret is there. If you want to learn the shortcuts of Excel, what you need to do is simple. Take your cursor, hover it on anything, like anything. So let's say I'm hovering on this B. So it will show you a pop-up. Okay, this pop-up is there, the small dialog box is there. It will let you know, is there any shortcut for this particular command or not? Okay, for example, if I move my cursor to this font type, so there is no specific shortcut. Okay, if I go to this border, so if I go with this underline, if I go with this border italic, so if there is a shortcut, it will be visible. Now my concern is to make it bold. So I know the shortcut is Control B. So my text is bold. If I want to increase the size, I can go with this option. This way I can increase the size. If I want to make it italic, I can make it italic. To give it some underline, right? This way. To provide a double underline, you have to click on this drop down and you have this double underline option. So now double underline is there. I need to provide it some border. So a lot of options are there. The bottom border is there. The only top border is there. I will suggest when you explore Excel by yourself, always look for these icons. So they are self-explaining icons. You can see that this bottom border is showing that the bottom line of your cell is kind of like it's thick as compared to the other sides. Okay, so the border is at the bottom. Usually we go with this all border options. I will click on all border. Okay, now last thing is I want to give it some fill color. So you can see that is kind of container, so that is to fill color in the cell. Okay, and the next one is the change the color of your font. Okay, so font is this Excel is font, and this area on which you have written Excel is your cell. So let's give some color to our cell, some green or like some kind of light blue, and change the color of your text to dark blue this way. Now see one thing, this Excel is coming outside of this particular cell, so I need to adjust the width of my column, right? What we do is simple, we'll move our cursor, understand the variation of your cursors. Okay, right now it's a plus sign but it is broader. If I move my cursor to over here, so now it become a pointer, right, to the tab, so it become a pointer. If I keep move my cursor onto my column names and all, you can see that it is again a kind of pointer downwards. So it is just uh, referring to selecting the entire column. Now, one more is there, even two more is there. If I have to adjust the width of my column, okay, so I want to make some change into the width of my column, I need to adjust it. I can fit it manually, right? So when you keep move your cursor to in between the C and D column, okay, I want to increase my uh, width of the C column to the right hand side, like towards right hand side. So I have to keep my cursor in between the C and the next column. So now see the variation. It is kind of cross. So usually people do it by pressing left key from your mouse and they drag it this way. This way they drag it. But the suggestion is just keep your cursor when your cursor has transitioned to this particular shape, this plus sign, just double click, okay? Just double tap over here this way. And now that width get auto adjusted. Okay, now come to the this other section, that is the alignment one. But before that, and just look at the screen, we have this expansion kind of thing, right? We have these expansions. So there is a shortcut to open them. So again, I have tell you how you can just find out is there any shortcut or not. So that is, if you need to open the font setting, the shortcut is Control Shift F. So I'm pressing Control Shift F and I will be getting a window over here. Okay, this is a small dialog box. You can move it here and there. Okay, now see, unmatch it. I have this number over here. Number tab is there. Alignment, font, border, fill, protection. Okay, so if you go with number, so in my home tab, I have number tab over here. If I go to alignment, I have the alignment tab over here. If I go to the font, I have the font also. This border is a part of font section. Fill is a part of font section, but this protection is a part of some other section. Okay, so right now not in the home tab. So now understand one thing. If you're applying something, let's say right now I want to apply something into my font. So you can see that Calibri, body, regular, and 11. These are my default settings. Okay, now you can see that Calibri body is there whenever I have opened a new file or either like anything. So my default font type and font size are these properties. So you can make some change to it. I have selected this one. I can make it bold also. I can select some other this one. Okay, and now some do you want to provide it some underline? And now there are some more effects out there. We'll discuss them. So now what I want is simple. I will click on OK. Okay, now you can see that this is changed. This property is changed. Now understand one more thing. See, I will suggest you whenever you see this drop down, just try to explore it. Okay. Now I have selected a blue color. If I have to change the color, what I'll do is simple. I will select my cell. I will go to this fill section. I will click on this drop down. And now there are multiple options for this color. And now let's say if there is a color in your cell and you want to remove it, again the same method is there. Just select that particular cell, go to this fill color, and then you have this option as no fill. You can see that in the background. I can change the color to some other color this way, and I can go with the no fill option also. And let's say if you have a specific requirement, some specific type of color, so you have this more color options, you'll have the color picker. You can pick out the color. Okay, so over here on the right hand side, you can see that on this dialog box, this is my current color. You can match it. This is my current color of the container, my cell. And now this one is new, which I'm trying to select. You can see that I'm moving towards the red and all. This way I can just make some change to my color. All I need is just to press on OK, and now my color get changed. Okay. Now, Control Shift F is the shortcut to open the dialog box. Now, if I move to this alignment section, okay, so either you want to align your text to the right hand side, to the middle, okay, you can see that because it is a text, it always starts from the left hand side. So now I have uh, aligned it in the middle. If I can go with the right hand side, okay. Now, if you want to make some changes into your text, for example, this is the angle, you want to move it. Okay, you want to format the cell alignment. So you can see that this way. Okay, so you can just put some angle and all this way. So basically, this is kind of thing when you are creating dashboards and all. So you can just use these properties. Okay, now moving towards the next section, and very important, this rep text and merge center. Now let me just give you an example of rep text. Let's say I'm typing something. I have a data, a heading. Okay, so you are a student and I am asking you for your father's name. Now my condition is not to just increase the width size. I want to wrap up. Okay, what I'll do is simple. I will select this cell. Okay, and just click on this rep text. So now this particular text which was exceeding or like that was a long text get wrapped in a single cell. Okay. Now this is your wrap text. Second thing we have is merge and center. Now what will be the condition of merge and center? And let me give you an example of that. Okay. Now see, you are preparing a report card. So I ask you to give me a heading, like that should be a proper kind of representation. I want you to put a heading on my data, above my data. So how you will do that? Someone will start with like giving this report card this way. Okay. And what will they do? They do is simple. They will adjust the size and then they will increase the font size and all. But see, notice one thing, when I'm increasing the size this way, can you see that this particular size of this particular row is getting too much increased and it is disturbing some other row also. Even though I have typed into the F column, G column, H column, but each and every column is getting affected by it. So that's why we have this merge and center option. So just go with Control Z. Okay. So what I do is simple. Let's say I want to insert my heading into like big area. So let's say in the 5 to 6 columns. What I'll do is simple. I am selecting this way. I will select it and all you need is just to click on merge and center. Now see, these cells are merged and they are not even disturbing the other cells. You can just give some heading. So now I can type it out. Report card. Okay, and now all you need is select it. You can increase the size to like let's say 48. Okay, you can give it some color. You can change the font color this way. Okay, I hope this is clear to everyone. And we'll move forward in the next session to cover this number, style, cells, and everything. I'll see you in the next session. Thank you.